The iPhone 15 Pro, that's history. Let's now talk about the iPhone 16. So, yes, the iPhone 15 Pro has come out like 2 months ago, and we already got leaks about the iPhone 16. I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry for making this video this early, but we actually got some new information about the iPhone 16 that might be actually important. So I decided to make this video now because, well, we are 2 months into the iPhone 15 cycle, and I think 10 months to go for the iPhone 16. We have some new informations, they are important, and so I think it's worth sharing with you guys. So, I'm TechZoomer, drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel, roll the intro. But before we do so, we need to talk about today's video sponsor, i2 Labs What's Go. This is a tool for transferring your WhatsApp messages and group chats from your Android phone to your iPhone or from your iPhone to another iPhone without losing any single message. Yes, this exists, and it's called i2 Labs What's Go. Go into i2 Labs website, download the tool, choose whatever plan you want, and then just connect your old Android phone to your computer. At the same time, you connect your new iPhone and you run the program. Of course, it will guide you through all the steps and you're done. Try i2 Labs What's Go. It's an amazing tool. Go check it out. Thank you, i2 Labs What's Go, for sponsoring today's video. According to Ross Young, we are getting new displays on the iPhone 15s. According to him, we are getting new sizes for the iPhone 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max, and also a new technology from Samsung. So, according to Ross Young, the iPhone 16 Pro is going up from 6.1 inches going up to 6.3 inches, and the iPhone 16 Pro Max is going up from 6.7 inches, this big boy right here, to 6.9 inches. So, all the Pro models are getting bigger this year. I don't know if Apple is going to conquer this by increasing the sheer volume size of the phone or simply reducing the bezels. But because of the bezels being so small on the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max, I don't think they can do it by just reducing the size of the bezels. No, I think they will have to make the phone bigger. And that's a shame because the iPhone 15 Pro was actually smaller than the iPhone 14 Pro. And that was something that was actually very, very well talked about because not everyone likes having big phones. And so a smaller, more compact Pro phone was actually welcomed in the Apple community. But no, according to Ross Young, the iPhone 16 Pro is getting bigger at 6.3 inches, and even the 16 Pro Max is getting even bigger at 6.9 inches, which is just insane. Obviously, the normal models, the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus, are not increasing in size, so they are keeping the same 6.1 and 6.7 inches sizing. So this might be a way for Apple to differentiate the models from the Pro and the non-Pro models, but still, why? I don't want a bigger phone. I don't want a bigger screen if it involves having a bigger phone. I think that the iPhone 16 Pro Max will be huge, even bigger than the iPhone 15 Pro Max, which was huge in terms of size and volume. Of course, it was a bit thinner and lighter and smaller than the 14 Pro Max, which also was huge. So I don't think we need bigger phones. I think we just need the same size phones with less bezels, and then shave off a bit of size, and then maybe someday you can reach actually to the 7-inch display. But keep up the same sizes, do not make them bigger. I don't know why Apple, I don't know why you are doing this, it doesn't make much sense, but maybe you are just trying to fit more things into the phone, like bigger batteries, which are also rumored for these iPhones, which, according to leakers and rumors, we are getting a new battery size on the iPhone 16 Pro. The 16 Pro will feature a 2.5% jump in battery size, which, if you think about it, is actually insignificant, so why increase the size of the phone so much that the iPhone will actually increase screen size in 2 inches by just giving it 2.5% of battery increase? I don't understand why. Maybe more cooling, maybe some spaces for new lenses on the camera side, I'm not sure. But as for the displays, the 16 Pro, 16 Pro Max will be a 6.3 and a 6.9, while the 16 and the 16 Plus, those will be a 6.1 and a 6.7. Also, new technology is coming to these iPhone 16 displays, according to Ross Young. This new technology will be a new technology introduced by Samsung, which will improve the yields of the display, will make them more efficient and also brighter. So, kind of an S-tier upgrade to the displays, but always better when your display is more efficient and obviously when it's a bit brighter. So, very good positive things about the displays if you want bigger iPhones and obviously better displays on your phone. As I was telling you about the battery, the iPhone 16 Pro will have a 2.5% increase according to leakers, while the 16 Pro Max and the 16 and 16 Plus, we don't have any information by far. But I would guess that if Apple is increasing the size of the 16 Pro battery by 2.5%, Maybe with the increase of size and volume of the case of the 16 Pro Max, we will also get a bit of a jump on the 16 Pro Max. But this now enters a territory that I will talk about later, which is the iPhone 16 Ultra. Why make the 16 Pro Max so extreme, so big, so powerful, and making the 16 Ultra again? Doesn't make any sense. So that's something that I want to discuss later on in this video, but now I want to talk about the new camera layout for this phone. Yes, a new camera layout. This is probably the most juiciest part of this video without the iPhone 16 Ultra. That's the camera layout. According to leakers, we are getting two new cameras on these iPhones. On the 16 Pro, we are getting the long-awaited periscope lens that came out on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. This lens is insane. It's a 120mm equivalent, so it's a 5x lens, and it takes incredible portrait photography. I love this lens. I've taken incredible photos with this lens, and I cannot wait for you guys that have the smaller iPhone to have it again. This is really huge because now you don't need to actually choose between size or better camera. You will just choose the phone that you actually feel comfortable with. A smaller phone, a bigger phone, doesn't matter, you'll have the same camera system. Obviously, this is something that most people want, but Apple could not make with the iPhone 15s. So they gave the older and worst lens, in my opinion, the 3x telephoto to the 15 Pro, and gave the 120 5x telephoto to the 15 Pro Max. This was one of the biggest reasons to choose the 15 Pro Max, in my opinion. But now that Apple is leveling up the game, 16 Pro, 16 Pro Max, maybe next year I will get the 16 Pro. Or maybe not, because according to leakers, the 16 Pro Max is getting even better periscope lens. Again, this is weird. Hear me out. I don't think this will happen this way. I think that Apple is launching the same phone, the same 16 Pro, 16 Pro Max. And if they decide to, they might launch the iPhone Ultra. Also, we are getting a new 48-megapixel ultra-wide lens. Yes, a new ultra-wide lens. Finally, we are getting a sharper ultra-wide lens that will almost match the main sensor on the iPhone. This is happening on the 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max, not just on the bigger sized model. This is really good because now you'll have an amazing ultra-wide camera that can take amazing sharp video and amazing sharp photos. You will never have to rely just on the main sensor, but you will now be able to trust on the ultra-wide sensor, which is really, really good. Finally, the secondary lenses are trying to catch up with the main camera. A 40-megapixel ultra-wide, a new telephoto or a better telephoto, we are getting there, Apple, with the hardware of the cameras. As far as the main sensor, no leaks yet saying if it's getting better, a higher megapixel count, sharper. We haven't got anything yet. But one thing I can tell you, the 15 Pro Max sensor is really, really good. The last video that I made, the iPhone 5s Day in the Life in 2023, was completely shot with the iPhone 15 Pro Max. All of those vlog shots that you saw, all those clips were shot on the 15 Pro Max. During the day, during the night, outside, inside, all of those were shot with the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And as you saw, the quality was really, really good. Log has completely upped the game with the camera side on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. So if you are getting the same main sensor, I'm not mad. But I would like to see a better main sensor, also a bigger one. And for that, well, for that we gotta wait and see. Other leaks are also saying we are getting new hardware on these phones, on every single iPhone 16. 16, 16 Plus, 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max. According to them, we are getting new volume rockers on these iPhones. Did you heard the leaks about the iPhone 15s that they were going to get these haptic buttons to replace the volume buttons on the iPhones? And then that project was scrapped because it had some problems during production? Did you heard those? Well, they are back. Those leaks are saying that Apple is going to remove the physical volume buttons on the iPhone and they will replace them with haptic buttons. A single haptic button that will give you the same feeling as clicking on a button, just like Apple's home button did on the iPhone 7 and iPhone 8, but it won't actually press. It will be a simulation of the haptic motor, just like the trackpad on the Mac, just like most of Apple's technology with haptic buttons. This will be, in my opinion, impressive. And if they decide to do so, then they will probably give it a better water-resistant meter, because why would you do that if it's not to increase the water resistant? And then you will probably be IPX70, I don't know what's the designation for that, but increase waterproofing and maybe decrease the failure rate of these buttons. That's something that Apple will probably put on every single model. I don't see them changing one thing for the normal model, like a huge thing. This is completely messing up with the design of the case. So I do believe if they do so, they will apply to every single model, and leakers agree with me. Oh, and I forgot to tell you something about the cameras on the new iPhone 16 and 16 Plus. According to leakers, the new layout of the cameras will be the same as the iPhone 12s. So it will be on a vertical layout. And why? Why are Apple doing so? Why are they going back to the older design? Well, pretty simple, because of the spatial video capabilities. If you don't know, the iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max can shoot spatial video for Apple Vision Pro, which is coming next year, so be ready, guys. And these cameras need to be vertical, and you need to have two perspectives. So you have the main camera and the ultra-wide. That's how Apple records spatial video on the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max. And if they want to do so on the normal iPhones, the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus, the two cameras need to be vertical, not on a diagonal. Today, they are on the diagonal. You have one on the top left corner and one on the bottom right side. But now, Apple wants to put it all on the left, just like they did with the iPhone 12s. And if it works for spatial video, I'm completely fine with it. Most people will ask, again on vertical, before it was diagonal and then went back to vertical. Why? But I think the explanation of spatial video recording is pretty fun. Spatial video, in my opinion, will be one of the biggest main sellers of the Vision Pro. Imagine recording a memory with your iPhone, normally, just like you do now, recording video, and then you want to relive it. Not just re-see it, but relive it using the Apple Vision Pro. That's pretty cool, in my opinion, priceless. So if Apple decides to do so, imagine the craziness of actually reliving your memories with the Apple Vision Pro. Insane. I cannot wait to try that headset. We are also rumored to have new AI features coupled together with two new chips, the A18 and the A18 Pro. With the iPhone 15 Pro Max and 15 Pro, Apple gave us the A17 Pro, probably readying us for the new upgrade cycle for the A-chip lineup. Yes, now the normal iPhones will have the same lineup of chips as the Pro iPhones, again, just like they did in the past. But with a few differences. There will be an A18 model and an A18 Pro. The Pro for the Pro iPhones, the non-Pro, the A18, for the non-Pro iPhones. So, what are the differences between these two chips? Maybe something to do with GPU and hardware accelerating engines. Not more than that. They will probably share the same cores. One will have a bit more cores, one a bit less cores. One will have more performance cores, the other less. And that's about it. I think those AI features will be exclusive to the iPhone 15s and upwards. And why iPhone 15? Well, that's easy, because I think that Apple is already working on these AI features, and I think they want to give it a bit backwards support, not just say, oh, this is completely exclusive to the new iPhones. No, these AI features will come, even maybe to the iPhone 14s. Apple will set a standard for which iPhone will receive it. Not every single iPhone on iOS 18 will receive it, but most of them will. And this will be important because these AI features will settle a new way of Apple developing software and Apple iOS system. Because AI is the future, and AI entering iOS, Apple, I think, will be extremely careful doing so. And when they do so, it will be big, really, really big. And it will become mainstream for the first time for most people. To finish up this video, I told you I wanted to talk about the iPhone 16 Ultra, and so I will. Hear me out. It doesn't make sense for Apple to release the iPhone 16 Ultra and the 16 Pro Max in the same lineup. Apple currently sells 4 iPhones, the iPhone 15, 15 Plus, 15 Pro, and 15 Pro Max. And if they decide to repeat the same lineup, the same iPhone 16, the same iPhone 16 Plus, 16 Pro, and 16 Pro Max, and then put on top of that the iPhone 16 Ultra, why? 5 iPhones on a lineup is just too much. Even 4, in my opinion, is just too much. You can see by Apple sales numbers that the iPhone 15 Plus is suffering a lot. Apple has had trouble selling that 4th iPhone every single year that they try to. With the 13 mini, the 12 mini, now with the 14 Plus, and now with the 15 Plus, those are not always the best sellers. Not even close. Because I think that most people decide between the iPhone 15 and paying more for the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max. They don't actually decide between the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus. It doesn't make any sense. Why would I spend $100 more on a non-Pro iPhone that is so close to the 15 Pro? People want the status. That's why people buy iPhones. Most of them at least. And they love that status of saying, I have the Pro iPhone. That's it. I have the Pro iPhone. They don't use the Pro iPhone capabilities. No, but they like to buy the best. They like to feel that they have the best on their hands. And so, I understand why Apple is releasing the iPhone 16 Ultra. Makes total sense. I don't understand why Apple is releasing the 16 Ultra and 16 Pro Max. Those are two very competing phones that don't make much sense. If Apple decides to launch the 16 Ultra, then do as I say. Release the iPhone 16, kill the 16 Plus, that phone, trash, doesn't make any sense. Then launch the iPhone 16 Pro at 6.3 inches, call it the 16 Pro, that's it, and then launch the iPhone 16 Ultra. That's the 6.9-inch model, the big size model with big batteries, beefy cameras, everything. Everything is big, everything is powerful, no things hold back just because of the size. The size doesn't matter, the volume doesn't matter, the weight doesn't matter. This is the most powerful iPhone with the most amount of battery life, performance, camera performance, everything. This is the Ultra iPhone. And then kill the 16 Pro Max and the 16 Plus. Those two phones don't make any sense by the time that you release the 16 Ultra. So, in my opinion, I do believe that if you do this 3 iPhone lineup, all of these phones will sell like hotcakes and it will solve most of the issues currently on the iPhone lineup. Doesn't make any sense to have 4, surely doesn't make any sense to have 5, and I think Apple will do better if they have only 3. But let me know in the comments below what you think. Which of these features is the one that you are most excited of from the iPhone 16 lineup leaks and rumors? And of course, do you agree with my new suggested lineup? 16, 16 Pro, 16 Ultra. That's it. Let me know in the comments down below. Drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye.